All right. So from what I heard in the meeting is right. How many of you are having problems with planning your day? Chris, I know you one of them because your day's so chaotic. Mel, tell me about what
Eddie,
problems you're having with planning of your day. Evening, Cheche. Mel, volume.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So more often than not, like basically when I plan my day exactly what I need to get up and going, I think the problem arises when you get those inquiries, those long dreaded ones, and then it starts to accumulate.
Mm-hmm.
And I think during the course of the day, that actually takes majority of the time, especially when you got clients waiting for feedback and they want the feedback ASAP, that like basically just hampers the flow. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm.
normally you better like a flow for the day where you like everything's planned and you know exactly how it's gonna be breaking it down. But if half the day is only you dealing with complaints and issues and
Okay, so
feedbacks and
so basically it's the
yeah,
focus. Basically, it's the focus. It's how
yeah,
to keep that sales focus.
mm,
Chris,
exactly.
on your side, I know that you also have very chaotic days. Do you have any formula that you use, or do you just go every day and take it as it goes?
no, Eddie, I plan my day.
Okay,
Like
tell
I
me how.
allocate a certain amount of time in the morning to first do all my invoices from the previous day payments.
Hmm.
And so obviously you do a to-do list and obviously plan accordingly how you're going to go about your day, when to yeah, do your invoices, when to check your WhatsApps, when to do your emails, and and continue throughout the course of the day in that manner in order to tackle a bit of everything, and obviously give most urgency to the most urgent orders and prioritize accordingly. So that helps to make sure that you get all your work done within the day.
Okay, thanks. Isaac, how do you plan your day? If you do planning, or do you take every day as it comes? Or do you do weekly planning? Okay, Tyrese, same question.
Eddie, say that again.
How do you plan your day? Like, do you seriously sit and plan it? Do you have any sort of guidance, any sort of plan? Do you just have a few things in
Yeah.
mind?
No, so normally what I do is I just try and attend to online inquiries. First, I start with emails and I go to WhatsApp. After I'm done with my inquiries, then I sit with all of the inquiries I get through my Facebook ads and the posts that I've been doing myself.
Okay, thanks for that. Cheche, good evening. How are you? Cheche, you can unmute yourself.
Hello, Eddie.
Hi, Cheche. Okay, tell me, how do you plan your day? When, how do you
Normally,
approach planning your day?
okay. How normally I always talk to my clients uh in after hours. So with the client that I've created the codes for in after hours, then normally I always carry on with those. Then I will see when my days goes on, then I will find another clients by calling them and trying to chat with them on WhatsApp and Facebook.
Do you feel that you're utilizing every single minute of the day correctly?
And unfortunately not.
Okay, that's why we're here. So thank you very much for joining. All right, guys. So what we're going to focus on is how to plan efficiently. Okay. Well, from what I've heard is everybody's got some sort of a plan and everybody's got a certain system. Some people are concentrating on making invoices from a certain time to a certain time, and then attending to mails and then attending to online orders. Yes, that is a plan. But how important is daily planning and how effective is it when it comes to actually helping you reach your sales target. Okay, so there's key benefits of daily planning. First, we got to focus on it increases efficiency and productivity. So a daily plan helps sales agents structure their day, ensure they focus on key areas like lead generation and customer follow-ups, rather than getting sidetracked by less productive tasks. It improves time management. This is one of the biggest key areas that I've noticed that we've got to work on. So by mapping out your day, agents can schedule their time effectively, minimizing wasted time and ensuring there is structure. Structure is what we're after, because at the end of the day, planning your day is going to give you consistency. Now, if you remember from part 2, the second part that we had gone through, we were focusing on how to build consistency. And I was showing you that table, basically that where you can take your current big customers that you've got from big to small, and you can structure them into a daily routine of saying Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you know when they order, and then you know you've got guaranteed sales. That was part of plan 1. Now I'm going to show you how to incorporate that into plan 2. So remember, now there's a couple of key areas that we need to focus on when it comes to selling, okay? And consistency. The main thing about consistency is we focus too much on price. Now, you're all going to go, what do you mean you focus too much? Because we always focus on saying, you know what, well, who's got the cheapest price? Am I correct? Am I wrong? So it's who is the cheapest? Our biggest thing always is when we go into meetings or when we speak to people, and that we say we cannot compete with price. Okay. So how do we overcome that to create consistency, to get customers to buy from you? Because there's a very big, there's 5 selling secrets. Okay. The first selling secret is stop focusing so much on price. So you might think your customers care most about your price. That's not the case. There's a very famous quote from a gentleman by the name of Seth Godin. He said, the reason it seems that price is all your customers care about is that you haven't given them anything else to care about. Do you know what that means? Now, we have, right in part 1, we started discussing building trust in a customer. All right, so when you build trust in a customer, along with trust, I'm going to add on to that now, along with building trust, okay? Mel, how do you create trust in a customer? If we just do a small recap. What is trust? How does a customer trust you? How do you build the trust?
On the first one, I wasn't there, buddy, remember?
Okay.
But on my side, what I normally do is keep an open communication with them, see how they're doing, how the business is doing. Is there any way that I can assist? Like basically to grow the business, new information, new products. That's how I basically build the trust, but keeping the communication line open.
But that's as far as the trust factor goes. All right, so I'm
Yeah.
going to give you guys some pointers tonight on how to actually build trust with a customer, okay? So keep that saying in mind. The reason it seems that price is all your customers care about is that you haven't given them anything else to care about. So that's a very famous sales saying, okay? Because you have people that work at BMW, you have people that work at Lamborghini. Now, their sales target is they must sell 3 Lamborghinis a month, okay? Now, you know what a Lamborghini costs, all right? So do you think it's easier to work in a place where, like at VW, to be a car salesperson? Or do you think it's easier to work at Lamborghini? Or do you think Lamborghini is harder?
I think the Lamborghini is harder. Lamborghini is way harder
Exactly. But why is it harder?
because of the price.
Because of the price. But do you think those salespeople let it stop them? Do you know
Nah,
those
no way.
salespeople are the ones that stay in Sandton, double-story houses, they drive Lamborghinis themselves. And we keep on turning our backs and turning our heads and saying, you know what, our price. We are competing with price, but this one's cheaper. We are complaining about nitty-gritty when we ourselves as salespeople have not built trust in a customer. Okay, so I'm going to give you an example. If a customer has got that amount of trust in you, he will buy the product from you regardless. Now, where do I lead? Where's the sales secret that leads into this? Now, there's a specific word that we're going to focus on. That's called, you have to build authenticity. What is authenticity? For those that don't know what the word authenticity means. Okay. So authenticity is the fact that you create a spectrum with a customer that no matter what you say, the customer will believe you. Okay, so that is, for instance, if a customer comes in and they want to buy something, now you're desperate for a sale, okay? You know a product is not going to work for them. You know that we've had problems with the product. You know that there's a slight chance there's been comebacks of the product. Yet the customer says, I want 10 of them. The majority of us will invoice and say, you know what, we'll wait until the problems arise. Am I right? Am I wrong? So there already we've broken the trust factor, because already when the customer comes in, the customer is going to tell you, you know what, I don't trust your product. And not as much as that he doesn't trust the product. You are his face. Remember, the salesperson is the face of the company. He's the face. You are his Puritech. So when you sell him something knowing that it's not, instead of turning around and saying, you know what, buddy, I'm going to be honest with you. I know it's a good price, but we've had some comebacks and I don't want you to struggle. And the guy says, yo, you know what? Thank you for that. I'll rather take 5 of these pumps. Now, the invoice might be worth a quarter of what the invoice was that he was going to purchase. But what that does in your relationship is it builds authenticity. Okay, and what I mean by authenticity, it builds that trust factor, that authentic. He believes you, he sees you as a person, not as a person sitting opposite him that wants his money. Remember, these days customers go to Blue Spot, customers go to WCSA, customers go to HChem. They go all over the place. They get to meet a whole lot of different salespeople. What sets you apart from everybody else? You shouldn't let price stand in your way. So remember that saying. So that's the first thing I want you guys to understand. When you want to build a strong trust relationship, have authenticity with the customer. Be real, be human. Understand that you can turn around and you can tell him, you know what? This is your hard-fought money that you have. This is your bread and butter. I'm not gonna let you take this because I've got a fear that it is gonna be a problem. I'd rather suggest something else to you, either something that's more pricey or something in a different direction. But just that little bit of confidence, you'll find that your customers will actually turn around and say, you know what, I only want to deal with Malcolm. I only want to deal with Taris. I only want to deal with Isaac or Chris. I only want to deal with them because I trust them. I trust their views and I trust their values and I trust, because you have not only brought your values and your authenticity and your ethics around over it, but you've also stood up for the company. Now, what I see a lot of times happening in our business is that too much time gets spent with when there's a problem. First thing, the salesperson will turn around and they'll blame the company and they'll say, oh, you know what, I know the terms and conditions are rubbish. It's a lot of bollocks, and you know what, I understand your point of view, and this damn management, they psychos. What does that do? Let me tell you what does that do to that customer? He feels that you're just working there for the money. You have no trust in the company, no trust in their products. There is your snapping point. You've broken the trust. But no matter what you do, if you stand up for the company, he can see that you've got values. And if he wants to buy something and you back him and you say, I'm not going to let you spend the money on this, I'd rather suggest something else for you, because I know your business and I know what you pick. I know your products. This is not going to work for you. This will. And I'm not talking, Malcolm, about telling a guy, don't take a 250 liter power, take a 1000 liter power, upselling. Don't use it for upselling. It's building of trust. Maybe tell him the budget won't work for you, but the eco will. Or the eco won't work, but the budget will. That kind of authenticity you cannot get in any form of business. How many of you have life insurance people? You have dentists, you have doctors, those people that you will say, I won't go anywhere else. I go to Dr. Solomon and that is it. That's it. I don't want to see another doctor. I don't want to hear about another doctor. I don't care if I pay $1,000 an hour to see this doctor, because he's built that authenticity. He knows you personally. He knows your values. He'll tell you, listen, buddy, you got to slow down on your smoking. You've got to slow down on your junk food, because I know your routine. I know you personally. It builds authenticity. So the more you have that authenticity, remember, it's not just a phone call, it's not just a WhatsApp. You have to turn that into a personal relationship. And I don't mean personal, please, behind closed doors after Puretech. I mean personal business relationship. They've got to trust you enough to spend 100,000 Rand, knowing that every single item on that list you would have bought if you were in his shoes. Okay, so that's what we're going to focus on. Remember the saying, I'm going to say it again. Okay, the reason it seems that price is all your customers care about is that you haven't given them anything else to care about. Okay, so you only focus on product, you're not interested in building a relationship, and all you want to do is shove a product down their throat. It's not going to work. You're never going to build consistency. You're never going to build a client base, ever. Okay, so that is from a consistency point of view. Now, planning. All right, so I've created a little document that I'm going to quickly put onto the sales group that I want you guys to all open. And I've specifically made this for you guys to help you. And we're going to go through it now. Okay. All right, it's sent. Tell me if you guys have received it. I'm going to share my screen. Yeah, tell me if you guys have all opened it. All right, so what we see here, it is a Excel spreadsheet, so each and every one of you can use it. If you want to use it, you can use it. If you don't want to use it, I'm not forcing you to do it once again. But trust me, if you just get used to doing this every day, and you're going to see your sales double, triple, quadruple, okay? Now, if some of you that's been in Puretech for a while, and remember, we used to do daily sales sheets. It used to be on Google, and that way the company could track what you're doing at 8 o'clock, what you're doing at 9 o'clock, what you're doing at 11 o'clock. This is not one of those systems. This is a system to help better plan your day. All right, so if you see, we're starting off with your daily sales planner. You guys can all see my screen, eh? Okay, so underneath that, we have daily sales notes. Then we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 8 a.m., 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right at the bottom, you'll see target, and then it says invoices equals 10/50,000, and then it'll have some remarks. And if you go all the way across to your right-hand side, you'll see there's daily follow-ups. Now, how are you going to use this? This is not for putting in every single one of your tasks. It has nothing to do with that. It's not about when you're going to do your emails. It's not going to be what are your WhatsApps are going to be. It's much simpler. This is for you to track your sales. And this is for you to keep the focus on what you need to do. Because our sales lives are so busy, we have so much to do. This is a simple system that can teach you where you are at that moment of the day and what you need to do for the rest of the day to hit your target. So it's very simple. So what you do is you say 8 a.m. Okay, now you plan today. I said at the bottom here, I made an example. Let's say I want to make 10 invoices. Okay, so you go slot in at 8 a.m. I want to make 2 invoices. That is by 9 a.m. 2 again at 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock. 2 again at 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock, 2 at 1 o'clock, and I want to do 2 at 3 o'clock. All right, so now you've seen I have slotted in specific time slots. So between 8 and 9 in the morning, my target is to do 2 invoices. If I do more, then I'm ahead of my daily target with invoices. Okay, so when you fall behind, you can actually track it here. All right, so now this is, if you're doing your invoices, you want to know, because right now we're all going into work and we're trying to make as many invoices as possible. or we are spending an hour with one customer. The customer doesn't end up buying because it's a presentation. And that was, let's say, between 8 and 9, or between 9 and 10. Now we can shift these 2 invoices to 10 to 11. And you can write here presentation with so and so. Okay, the company. All right. So now you've tracked your day. Now you've moved your 2 invoices. You've done 2 in the morning. Now your next target is between 10 and 11 to do another 2. As you're doing this, your daily personal sales target you want will be slotted at the bottom as well. It'll say 50,000. So now you say your first 2 invoices in the morning, the values were, let's say, 10,000 and 3,000. Okay, now we know we've ticked off 2 invoices and we've done 13K for the day. As you do this daily planner, if you schedule those times, you can, in between these times where you have, let's say you want to do 10 invoices, the areas where you have less invoices, you slot in your invoices that you need to make in the morning of your payments, your emails that you have to return to customers. Does that make sense? So in the gaps where you have, like Chris said, when she comes in the morning, the first thing she concentrates on is making her invoices. So between 8 and 9, she won't say, okay, but remember, these invoices are walk-in customers. These are not invoices from payments the day before. These are daily invoices for that day from square one. So she would put here 0. She would put in the value of the invoices that she's done already, let's say 20K. Okay, so she's already 20K done, okay, but it's not daily invoices. Then she'd move to 9 to 10 and she'll put 2 invoices there. Now my target is to make 2 extra invoices. Okay, so as you move along during the day, when you get to, and I specifically highlighted 12 p.m. 12 p.m. is where you are midday through your day. Now you can judge, okay, damn, okay, I've made only 4 invoices of the 6 I need to, and I've only done 20K. Okay, I'm 4 invoices behind and 30K. Your brain automatically slots into another gear, second half of the day. Just like we're doing the meetings when we say your first half of your month is done and dusted, there's nothing you can do about it. We can place the focus on the second half of the day. So now why do we say this? Why mentally is this important for us as salespeople? Mel, can you tell me why this mentally is important? For us to be able to have a schedule like this that we can look at and mentally click over.
So it's a mind shift thing. I think obviously you need to play catch up in your mind, and obviously I would say work in haste, and knowingly that you shortfall and you need to cover yourself. That's basically where you push right to the end mentally.
So what happens mentally and psychologically to a salesperson? And I'm sure a lot of you, give me a thumbs up if you agree with this. You deal with a problem, let's say between 9 and 10. Let's say 2 problems. You do one big quote and 1 problem. Generally, that big quote and that problem tends to take up your entire day. By the end of the day, you're like, yo, that one problem, that one quote that I did, I'm telling you, it from this morning, I've been busy with it. That, in our sales terms, is a waste of time. So what you do is you can literally get to a point in your day where you have something that you can look at and you can say, oh, I haven't realized I've been dealing with so much stuff that I'm behind. Or, okay, cool, I'm ahead. So because I'm ahead, I can now say, okay, I only need to do 1, 2 more invoices in the afternoon, but I can focus on this. So it helps you focus your day. It puts it into a nutshell for you to see on a screen, not to be running around like a headless chicken. And you know what? The thing is, we all do that. We all use calendars at home. A lot of us have calendars on our phones, hanging on the wall. We have them in our diaries. We have calendars. And what do you do on your calendar? You mark down, okay, on the 12th, I've got a doctor's appointment. On the 14th, I must fetch the kids at school at 4 o'clock. We have parents' evening on the 21st. We work on a calendar and we stay on a calendar. Why? Because mentally we will keep thinking, oh, I've got to check my calendar. and I've got to see what I've got to do on those specific days. I'm sure there was something I needed to do. So it is a mental thing for salespeople to have a system, simple system like this in place. You can wipe it clean every day and start afresh. Do every single day. All right. But I would say rather copy and paste the sheet or create an extra tab at the bottom, week on week on week on, so that you can track your progress. But you need something to track your progress because, you know, I've seen a lot of people being asked, where am I at? They have no clue how many invoices they've made. They have no clue where they are in the month. They have no clue really percentage-wise. They're like, I'm around 20%, I'm around 13%, I'm around 25%. If you use a system like this, you'll know exactly where you are. So you can better mentally have structure in your sales day. Does this make sense to all of you? This sheet.
Yes, Eddie.
And can this help you? It's very simple. Cheche, you wanted to ask a question?
No, not yet, Eddie. Just finish up.
Okay, so this is very simple. Now, what you do is on the left, you have your daily notes. Now, what I mean by daily notes is your problems. Things that hampered your day. Now, what I mean is you go in and you put in, for instance, invoice number, customer, and you say broken head, waiting on reply from complaints group. And you can put the time. Now you've put it down on something, pen and paper, you've put it down. So mentally you've distanced yourself, but you've still got that in the back of your mind. So you can focus on what's next to it. So all your daily notes are the things that you're spending a lot of time on. And all those things, because remember our mental capacity in a day. When we get home, we are exceptionally tired. We are exhausted. Our minds are exhausted as salespeople because you've been tugged here, you've been told this, you've had to do this, you've had to do that, because there's no structure. So when you have structure, you basically start forming file cabinets in your mind. And everything gets its own file cabinet. Everything has structure. When you have structure, you won't believe how much time in your day you have to be able to close more deals and to be able to prospect and to be able to concentrate on the marketing. Mel, specifically someone like you who would concentrate on Facebook marketing and other areas, LinkedIn and all of that. You know, you try and rush it in between everything. It's because there is no structure. There's no plan. There's no map. If you get in a boat and you go, and I'm going to go head north, I'm going to end up somewhere north. Okay. But I don't know where I'm going to end up. We tend to wing it every single day because we do not have proper structure. And this is what I'm trying to start with you guys, give you something simple, small, that you can start with as a daily planner. Remember, this has nothing to do with WhatsApps entering, okay, I did this at 9 o'clock and I did this at 10 o'clock and I did this and I went to the toilet. It has nothing to do with it. This is not a micromanagement system. This is a self-scheduling system. It's a self-daily planner that you can utilize. It's simple, straightforward, and you can see where you are in the day. You can say, yesterday, okay, I was too short. I only made 8 invoices. My target was 10. So today what I'm going to do is, that's why I included these extra 2 lines at the top. I'm going to put 2 here. And I'm going to say, my daily target today is not 10 invoices. It is it's 12. Now, when you reach that 12, that 50K will be 80K, which means whatever you fell short of yesterday, you will have made up today. But you have a track record. You know where you are. A lot of times we get to Wednesday, middle of the week, and we're like, oh man, I quoted this customer on Monday, but I can't remember who he was. Damn, I can't find him on my phone. Let me check my mails. And we spend a half an hour looking at our mails because we were supposed to follow up and we can't remember who this customer was. We don't know where to get his contact details. We don't know we completely running like headless chicken. So this is one thing. So I want us to focus on taking what the part 2 was, that table, what we had created, where you can slot all your regular customers every month, and you know you're going to get this much from them. You can even take that sheet now. Remember I said you're going to be able to plug it into another sheet. You can take that sheet And you can now add the names onto these areas. So you can say, okay, here, I am going to phone Big Time on Monday, and I'm going to get a 30K order from them. Now you can say, okay, well, 50K is going to be reached anyway. So if I'm going to get 30 from them, my target will be 80K. Do you see how one slots into another? This is a system. So one system backs another system, but it's a track record. And every time you've got something to backtrack on, and you can say, okay, where am I? Where am I? Let's focus. And you can keep focus, because the key areas about consistency of any salesperson that we must never forget, ever forget, is planning equals consistency. A good salesperson has consistency, knowing that next month, no matter what I do, even if I'm ill for 20 days out of 30 days, even if I do invoices from my phone, without me trying, I've got $1 million guaranteed coming in. That's where you want to be at. And that's where I want you to be at. So we've done sheet 1 now, and that is where you've got your big customers. Now you're going to use this daily planner, this self-scheduling planner, and you're going to take that first sheet and you're going to work it together with this sheet. So you're going to have a master sheet. And this sheet is going to be where you know in a day, if you ever get to your desk and you're like, where was I? What was I doing? You can go back to your sheet and you can say, you know what? I was focusing. I've only done 3 invoices and I needed to be on 5. Let me get back on my horse. Shift you back onto your sales. So too many times we end up spending a whole day focusing on one of the wrong things. And we waste a lot of sales time. So that's it for tonight, guys. Hopefully this has helped you guys. The sheet I've created, I've also got a document that I'm going to put up there that you can goes along with the sheet, which just gives you a bit of understanding how imperative planning it is for your sales. I mean, you know what? It's been drilled by so many people. I'm not another drill sergeant. I'm not telling you must do this, you have to do this. I'm just telling you, if you do this, I guarantee you within 3 months, if you use that first sheet and use this second sheet, it will change your sales completely. You will come to me and you'll say, Eddie, I cannot believe the difference this makes in myself. And I've got so much time. I'm so much more relaxed. I'm not stressed about my target. I'm not stressed about where my business is coming from, because I know where I'm at and I know where the business is coming from. All right. Now, guys, please utilize the sheet. I did put it on the group. There's one more document I'm going to put onto the group as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this session. We will have the next session, part 4. That will be next week, Wednesday, for those who want to join. I heartily thank everybody for joining tonight. And have a great evening.
You too, Eddie.
Thank you very much. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Right.
Mhm.